So as you continue through this practice assignment, one thing that will be very helpful to you is having both the slideshow open and your assignment and having them on a split screen. So I'm going to show you how to do that. If you take one of your tabs, let's take the engineering design frog practice, and you click and drag it way, way off the screen. See how you start to see that little bit show up? You can pop it over and it takes up half the screen. Then you take your other slide and you can move it over to match. Okay, great. And now you can actually make one bigger and one smaller as you need. Okay, so let's go over to this slide. There we go. Okay, so now you can see both your the helper slide. So for instance, we're at criteria and constraints, and that goes along with questions 3 and 4. So remember, criteria are the goals of our engineering problem. What is it that we are wanting to do? And then constraints are the things that are limiting what we are able to do. This is kind of a fun little sign you might see in a mechanic shop. We offer 3 kinds of services: good, cheap, fast. You can only pick 2, right? So good, cheap, and fast are criteria that people have for, getting service for their car. But the constraint is that you can only pick 2 of those. So, okay. So as you move through, you will see that there are these helper slides to help you through all of the different parts of this. So when you get to the ideate, you're coming up with some solutions, come up with some silly things. Truly, the sillier the better. And then when you get to part 3, that's where we start to bring some of that science in, and we're going to be looking at some data that is testing one of those possible solutions. So, for instance, in your ideation, let's say that you came up with the idea to build another pond for them so they don't have to cross the highway. Um, in part 3, we're looking at a graph, and you have this graph here, and you're seeing, well, what would be some of the criteria and constraints for this pond, and what do you need to really consider? So again, use this slide to help you through with these next questions. And once you have submitted, what's really nice is that once you submit this assignment at the very end, you will be able to go back and see which answers you got right and wrong, and then you'll be able to make some adjustments before you hit submit again. So when you finally are ready to start the mastery check, you'll have already kind of seen what questions you have. So again, this is your ticket to the mastery check, and I hope it's a very helpful practice.